Running for Jackson Public School Board, Marilyn Acton-Dowell. Good afternoon.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
So this is the first time you've run for public office of any sort.
Of any sort. Yes.
So why, at this stage, run for Jackson Public Schools Board?
So I think it's really important to give back to the community. So even with my own children, I always would say, and well, I used to be a counselor, I'm retired, so I guess I still am, but we want to get our children launched successfully so that they can take care of themselves and then give back to the community. So it's time for me to give back to the community. And I love kids anyways.
So I think we have 6 people interested in the 2 seats.
Five
people interested in the 2 seats. Very
yes,
competitive.
Correct. Yes.
So is there something JPS is doing that's attracting all this interest? People either want to get on board and help, or do they see something they want to change? What camp are you in?
I'm thinking that they want to get more involved. I think maybe during the COVID lockdowns that people could Zoom and they were seeing what was being taught, maybe, that could be. But I just think that JPS, I went through it. My siblings went through it. My father went all through JPS. And then my kids did, and they really learned a lot. And so I just want to keep that momentum going. And so it's a great school district. And my kids did amazing, and I could give this huge testimony about all the things that were offered. So I'm just wanting to keep the whole thing going. I'm a little concerned with test scores, that we need to get them up, the academics. But my kids graduated 2006 and 2009. And what JPS offered as a whole, imagine a French back-to-back program in 5th grade. And then, one of the music teacher always would do a play in the 6th grade, Jackie Livesay. So, and then the band program was amazing in middle school. And my kids always played soccer. And that was a lot of fun. I'm a soccer mom. But what JPS had, they had wonderful academics. And they'd, French and German and, my kids just really excelled. And I really kind of go back to the plays. And that my one son realized he could sing. So he was one of those that didn't need a microphone. He could just sing, and everyone heard him, and he was hysterical. So actually, because of that, he's out in California. He's known as Nicky Sparkles, and he produces music, and he does well.
He's in real show business.
Well, he dabbles in it, but he does do shows. Yes, he does.
Your son?
Yeah, my son.
Nicky Sparkles?
Yeah, Nicky Sparkles. Yeah, it's kind of fun. But that was all part of Jackson Public Schools. They just could offer so much. And then my other son was always an artist, and so he got on the school paper when he was in high school, and they allowed him to do a cartoon series. And it was super funny. So I still have all those. But the opportunities that JPS offers this community is just amazing. They have all this money. And so, they really do. And I think they have excellent teachers. So I just wanted to keep it going.
There's nothing you want to come in and change.
I want to help with it. I want to make a difference with the academics. I think they need to go up, and probably it was because of the COVID lockdowns that a lot of the kids aren't proficient. So we need to get test scores up. That's what I really am interested in. So, like my background, actually, it was a medical technologist, and I graduated from Michigan State University. But you had to take boards. Well, I had to be proficient in the boards, or I would have gotten a license. And then when I became a counselor, I had to take a board exam, so I had to be proficient. So what I'm concerned is that our children need to be proficient, because you think about the job market that they're going to enter. Not only do they need to be proficient, locally with things, but we're competing on a global basis. And to make sure that when they graduate, they have everything that they need.
You sent us a note that one of the things that you are concerned about is the politicization of school boards.
Right.
So it's a office that has no party affiliation.
Correct. That's
but
correct.
Do you have a party affiliation?
So I would call myself a Republican, to be honest. And then I think that school boards need to collaborate. So when I'm elected to the school board, obviously I'm going to represent the people that voted for me with their interests. But I want to be able to collaborate and not have it so divisive. And have it win-win. Because bottom line, I know that we're all there for the students' academics. It's always about academics.
So we have people outside forces that want to participate in what a school district does. I'm referring specifically to legislators, the state school board, citizens, groups. A lot of school board meetings attract a huge audience.
They do.
These days.
They do.
Who's responsible for local school children's education?
Well, I think that we are. I think the school board is, and let's get real, the taxpayers. I mean, we're funding these schools. And so I want it to be more at a local level that we would make decisions together. I think that's really important. The less government interference, the better.
Does the school board make decisions on whether such things are taught or included in a school building, like LGBTQ books in the library, or critical race theory, which is what apparently people are concerned?
Right, they are concerned about that. Yeah.
Are you concerned about that?
I am. I think that what I look at is that it's funds that could be better used for. Again, I'm always going to go back to academics. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, it's always about funding. And we're going to get a lot of money, well, I think we already have, from the ESSER funds. And so I really want them to be used.
It has to be used a certain way,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I think so too. And on the school board, I'd like to know where those funds are going and have a say, because I'm very fiscally responsible. So, yeah. Because it's a big responsibility.
So the board would participate in curriculum decisions?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
library books?
Yeah, and I'd like to have some more parental input. I haven't looked at the library right now. I haven't, so I don't know what kind of books are there. But I would like more parental input, like what we should have. And this is very interesting too, because I'd like to bring more literature back. Do you remember William Bennett? And he was the drug czar.
Education secretary?
I think so, right?
Yeah,
but yeah.
He was.
And he did he put together the Book of Virtues, and it was literature. And the literature taught morals. So you think of Aesop fables, there's always a moral story. But that's what his premise was. And so I'd like to bring more of those back. So did I mention that I used to substitute teach?
Well, I was going to ask, because you've said, you've told us a little bit about your family, two boys.
Yep, I have two boys.
You had a first career as a medical
technologist. I did.
And then
went back to school to be a counselor, because I talk all the time.
Were you a school counselor?
For a minute, but most of it was through nonprofits, and I went into private practice. But when I was getting my master's at Spring Arbor University, I substitute taught. And I loved it. And the kids liked me. Actually, they would run up to me when I'd walk in, because I was kind of like a Mary Poppins. I always had this big bag with a bunch of stuff in. And I'd read them books. And it's usually the elementary school, right? That, oh, will you be our substitute teacher today? And so after lunch, and I guess I'm kind of really old-fashioned, I'd want them to settle. They had just come off the recess, And so I'd read them a story, or I'd act out a story. So, and they loved it. And it was always a moral story. There was always a lesson at the end. And I would say, well, you know, what do you think you learned from this? And this one was a Leo Tolstoy short story about Genghis Khan. But the kids were so excited to hear about Genghis Khan that they actually went to the library to look him up. Yeah, so I loved doing that. I did it from like 2006 to 2008, and then I got a job. And my whole 16 years as a counselor, I really worked with children mostly. I really did. That was my clientele.
But you're retired now?
I did. I decided to retire last June. So now I have to do something, so I'm running for a school board.
Well, that'll keep you busy. So we were talking before the show because Marilyn is the sister of Arnie Schneider, who was the very first guest ever on this show.
Yes, he was.
When he had Arnie's restaurant.
Yep.
What's Arnie up to?
So he's in Las Vegas having a great time, being retired, playing. He's doing great.
He came from Vegas. I mean,
he did come from, yes, he did. Yes, we came from, we did.
All right, November 8th. Is that right?
Yes, yes. Vote for Marilyn Acton-Dowell.
In the Jackson School Board trustee race. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
you for having me.
You're welcome. Marilyn Acton-Dowell, candidate for JPS board.